Welcome back, guys. I hope you've all had a lovely half term. We thought it'd be a good idea with your end of year assessments coming up this term to put together a PowerPoint for you to see how best to revise for maths. Unlike other subjects, for maths you haven't got to write lots of essays, you just need to practice and practice some more. But we thought it'd be a good idea to highlight what you should be doing to revise in order to be best prepared for your assessments. The first thing that you can do for your revision is actually find out what topics you've studied this year. And there are three ways really that you can do this. So first of all, you should be having a look back in your classwork book from the start of the year and making a note of all the topics that you have been doing. So you should be looking at your class titles that you've been writing down. And if you have your EMI books, you can also have a look at the tests that you've done this year. The second thing you can do is actually look back at what homework tasks you've been set on MathsWatch. Although these tasks might be locked, you can still see what tasks you have been set, and you can then research the tasks on MathsWatch and complete some of the questions again. I would suggest that you make a list of all the topics that you have done per term, and you can see that actually if you break it down into the terms, you can do and spend a little bit of time on each topic over the revision period. For those of you that may not have your classwork books at home, we've actually done this job for you, and you should be able to see for terms 1 up to terms 5 all of the topics that you have studied. The colouring tells you what topic they sit under. So for instance, the orange topics are to do with number, the blue topics are algebra topics, the green are to do with shape and space, and the red topic is to do with data handling. And that's the only one that you've done on data handling, and that was probability, which was done most recently. Please note, guys, that any of these topics could be in the assessment, so don't just focus on one particular term. As much as we say that you just need to practice the maths, there are also things that you will need to know, such as keywords, formulae, and definitions. So what we have done is on Microsoft Teams, you should be able to find all of the knowledge organisers for term 1 to 6 for this year. So to find them, if you go onto Microsoft Teams and you go into your class for maths, under files and then class materials, if you click on that, you should see that there is a folder for each of the knowledge organisers for terms 1 to 6. The knowledge organisers can be used to find out how to do certain questions and can be used as a reminder. However, they're probably most useful for knowing keywords, formulae and definitions that you'll need to know for the assessment. For instance, if you look under term 5, you will see the knowledge organiser for circle theorems, and it is really important that you know the actual definitions of the circle theorems, because you will not be allowed to say in the assessment that it is circle theorem 1 or circle theorem 2, or even be able to just describe the shape of it. You will need to know the actual definition of the circle theorem. For some of you that like using mind maps, you might find it helpful to take the information from the knowledge organisers and take the information from your classwork books and put it in a mind map to help gather your ideas and thoughts so that it is all on one bit of A4 paper. It will help to make it seem that it's actually not so much that you have to learn. My advice would be to make them colourful and to make them stand out. So for instance, you can see the one on the slide for solving equations, and there are more to it that you can add. But you've got linear equations, you've got quadratic equations, and you might just want to have some information on how to solve them. Now that you've got your knowledge organisers in front of you, your exercise books, and you've possibly turned them into mind maps, you should be able to start practicing questions to best prepare you for your assessments. We have put together a revision task on MathsWatch that you should be able to see. There are 60 questions and 161 marks, which may seem like a lot. However, you do have 2 weeks to revise. So you could break it down into 5 questions per day, 4 questions per day, or you might want to do more, 10 questions per day. That is completely up to you. You do not have to do them in order. You might want to start with those questions you feel most confident at doing, or you might want to tackle the harder questions first and then come back to the other ones later. That's your choice. But make sure that if you are stuck, you do look at the videos first of all. The videos are really useful because you can pause them at certain points. They will pose questions and they will go through questions. So please make sure you look through these first of all before you email teachers for help. That is fine to do that after, but please look at the videos first. If you don't find my Maths Watch videos helpful, I will post some other links that you may wish to use. As mentioned, I have put down some links for other websites you might find useful for revision if you don't find MathsWatch particularly helpful. So I've listed 4. So first of all, you have corbetmaths.com. For Corbett Maths, you don't need to log into anything. There are videos on there. There are lots of questions on PDFs, which you can then find answers for attached on the PDFs. The second one is drfrostmaths.com. So for Dr. Frost, you will need to set yourself up an account and a login, and it is free, but there are lots of questions you can try on there. There's past papers you can try on there as well, and you may find that useful. The third one is mathsgenie.co.uk. MathsGenie has questions by topic, so you will see all the topics listed under grade 1, grade 2, etc. But you will have to search for them. And it just contains questions from past papers and handwritten solutions. And the final one is Just Maths, and you can see there that it has got questions by topic, and you should be able to see that there are questions for AQA, for Edexcel, and for other exam boards. And again, there are handwritten solutions. But in terms of videos, the only ones probably that are useful are Corbett Maths and drfrostmaths.com. Hopefully this PowerPoint has given you some ideas about how best to revise for maths. We've tried to make it really simple for you by giving you the topics that you need to revise and putting together a Maths Watch assignment for you to complete. However, you may have other ideas about how to complete your revision, and that is completely up to you, whatever works best for you. However, one thing that is true for everyone is that you need to make sure that you allow enough time for revision and do not leave it to the last minute. You want to make sure that you complete this assessment as best prepared as you can possibly be to give a true reflection of what you have learned this year. Good luck, guys. I hope you do well.